you had actual real food, huh?
Exactly. 14 days makes you appreciate everything, you know?
Crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
All right, as we get rolling now, Jimmer, start us off with a bang. Something that maybe nobody necessarily really knows about you. Kind of like the secret golf cart thing that you got going on, but start us off with a bang here on this 1% podcast.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any bangs for you, but I mean, there's something that people don't really know about me is that I really enjoy and I'm actually pretty good at cooking.
Wow.
So I'm pretty good.
Ah.
I'm pretty good in the kitchen. I just got done with Whitney, making a beautiful dinner. We had some rosemary ranch chicken with a great salad. I mean, yeah, I like to cook. I enjoy that, grilling and different things. But that you kind of learn how to do that when you're kind of by yourself a little bit, playing overseas in different places. You got a lot of time on your hands. So I figured out what I was good at, what I could cook, different types of things like that. So that's something that people don't really know about me.
He's cooking. That's really cooking.
That's really cooking. No, I cook.
Like, I thought he was going to say something about the TikTok. They didn't know he could dance because I didn't. And I see he's on TikTok dancing every
Nah. If you YouTube me enough, you'll find a bunch of dancing clips of everywhere that I've been at. So people know about the dance skills already.
Okay.
People know that I've dunked the ball at least once in my life. So I couldn't pick those ones out yet.
Man, yeah, you are cooking for sure. So whenever you say rosemary in front of something, like I don't care what it is, that means you know what you're doing. Like I don't even really know what rosemary is. It's one of those.
For sure, marinated it in a rosemary ranch chicken all night.
There you go.
Marinated it, threw it on the grill, cooked it up. It was great.
Unbelievable. Whenever we get to travel again, Ray, if you ever get back to the United States, we know where we're going for grill out. Summer off season.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's jump into pivoting, the pivots you've made in your life. So let's talk about your journey, but more so the obstacles that you've had to overcome in that journey to get to where you were at BYU, in the NBA, where you are currently overseas. What types of obstacles, being not the big 7 foot or super, you're pretty athletic, like super crazy athlete, freak specimen, but things that you've had to overcome, obstacles in your journey.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely, one of them, just not being the most athletic guy. Obviously athletic, but not super tall, don't have extremely long arms and, can't jump really that well, all these different things that, some guys are blessed with. I necessarily wasn't blessed with that, but I was blessed with a great work ethic, which I think is something that really helped me, was able to get over the hump with that. But, that's one thing. But also, when I was in high school, I was from a really small school in upstate New York. And because of that, I wasn't very heavily recruited out of high school. And I know Ray wasn't, Ray was, went to a smaller mid-major school. But both things worked out well for us. But, not being heavily recruited, the coaches would see you and they'd watch you play, and I'd be on the AAU circuit playing against all the best players and play well, but I would still be overlooked and wouldn't, get any offers. I didn't get any offers from any ACC or Big East or Big Ten schools or anything like that, just mid-majors, and BYU was the biggest school that offered me a scholarship. So, so I think being from a small school was a little bit of a hurdle to try to get to where I wanted to go. And, I think those two things are probably, two of the biggest things that were hurdles for me.
Yeah. Jimmer, I got to ask, man, first, I've had the pleasure of being your teammate.
Yes.
And I remember me and young Ben McLemore at the time, we definitely asked you all the questions in the world, man. We really looked up to you. And now, me being over here in China where you have been, also I played in the Euro League and being in Europe the last 2 years. The impact that you've made on the game, like around the world, is crazy. Obviously, a couple months ago, posted on Instagram on my story. You had a Shanghai Sharks jersey that they're selling next to LeBron James here at out here in the streets of China. and, and then I remember last year, Devin Booker sent when you were in Phoenix, said something like, I'm teammates with Jamal and Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's crazy. That's wild. Like, do you realize the impact that you've made, like, on just the basketball world? I mean, around the whole world. You know what I mean? It's like, you're Jimmer Fredette. Like, everywhere you go in Europe, I'm sure you see crazy. Everywhere in China, like, man, they're selling your jersey. They're not selling anyone else's jersey out here.
Yeah.
In the NBA. Like, how does that feel?
It's been an honor. I mean, the thing about it is, I don't really, I feel the impact, but at the same time, you don't really notice it too much until, people bring it up. But one thing that I do know is that I appreciate all the fans. I appreciate all the fans out there. I mean, I know that I have lots of them. I've had lots of them since BYU in the college days, and they've continued to stay with me through the good and the bad. That's the crazy thing about it, is that not everything has gone perfect for me in my career. And just because it hasn't doesn't mean that the fans have gone away. They just still have believed in me. And then I've gotten into situations, like over in China, obviously that was perfect for me. And then, things kind of exploded again. And then you realize that it's not just a United States thing. Like you said, it's a worldwide thing. Over in China, I might be more popular over in China than I am in the U.S. just because your numbers of people over there, you know what I mean? And which is pretty amazing to think about. But it's been an honor to be able to be, not just a great basketball player globally. Hopefully, they get to know me as a person and be a good ambassador just for my family, for my church and everything globally. And I hope that that's been something that people have seen as well. So it's been awesome. It's been amazing. I mean, I can't complain about the career that I've had and the impact that I've made, it's been special. It's been fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Jimmer, that's amazing. First of all, I didn't know you guys were teammates. You were teammates in Sacramento?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, look at this. The all-star lineup here. But hey, you know what? That's a testament to your abilities that you have, but also to the person that you are. Like, you wouldn't be that well received throughout the world if you weren't the genuine giving person that takes the time to sign every autograph, to take every picture. I mean, I've seen you around people that TBT just mobbing you, and you're taking your time with everybody. So it's a testament to your abilities. It's also a testament to the person you are. And in being that just huge global phenomenon that you become, it's obviously there's a weight on your shoulders that can be there, but there's also perceptions that have gone into play throughout your career, through everyone's career. I mean, Ray can attest to this too. If you're not super tall, super athletic, they don't think you can play in the NBA. There's perceptions that, like, the NBA might place upon you that that brings you down, that doesn't give you a fair shot, a fair opportunity. Because, man, you can play in the NBA. You're one of the top 5 shooters in the world. And I think I'm a top 5 shooter in the world, but I'm going to tell you, you're a top 5 shooter in the world. But anyways, how have you dealing with these types of perceptions that maybe the NBA or some people might place upon you?
Yeah, it's not easy, especially, right out of college when you're young, because, right away, the perception of me, the two things that, were specifically the perception for me was, 1, can't play defense. 2, is he a point guard or a shooting guard? And at that point, that was still kind of a big deal at that point when I got drafted. We weren't like necessarily positionless basketball like it is today, where, small ball, the shooting 3 from the, deep range and all that stuff. That was a part of the game, but it wasn't like the main focus of the game like it is now. So they were trying to figure out my position. They were trying to figure out if I was a 2 or if I was a 1. Could I handle it? Could I, play defense against a point guard or against a 2 guard? Instead of just, necessarily letting me just go out there and kind of figure it out, and put me on whoever it was that time and let me play point or 2, depends on who it is, let someone else handle, let me handle, it was kind of like you needed to be in that type of a box. So because of that perception, defense of who am I going to guard, what position am I going to play offensively, made it so that they were trying different things. And if it didn't work, they'd take me out and, didn't give it a try again, So it was, those types of perceptions are difficult, but at the same time, there's not much you can do about it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That's the focus. Is that for me? I got some great advice when I was, in Sacramento from Francisco Garcia, who was one of my veterans. He just said, control the things that you can control, and you can control your attitude, you can control your work ethic, you can control if you're happy. Try to work hard every day. Try to have a good attitude going in every day, still being a great teammate and doing as best as I can, whether it's I'm playing or I'm not, and then just try to be happy and bring everybody's energy up every day. So I tried to work on those things, and I knew if I continued to do that at some point things would turn in my favor. And I think that they honestly did at a certain point, but it wasn't in the NBA. It was over in China. So, but I knew that at some point it was going to turn, and it worked out for me better than I could imagine.
Yeah, beautiful answer. Ray, before you jump in with this next question, I just got to touch on that point that Jimmer made of joy, playing with joy, how important that is. And Jimmer, you really do. Like, I see that in you. Every time you're on the court, there's just like an energy of joy that's coming out of you. And it shows. Like, it shows in your game, in the way you play, and I just wanted to compliment you on that. That joy is infectious. So
I appreciate that. I try to bring it. That's something. It's just kind of me as a person. I'm kind of just a happy person. I try to take that personality into the locker room and into the game. Because I feel like it's a long season. It's a grind. You know what I mean? No matter where you are. So you always have to have at least one or two guys that are upbeat, that are positive, that are, bring some energy every single night. And, so I felt like I was trying to be one of those guys that was just more positive and trying to be a good person and try to help out as much as I could if I was playing or if I wasn't playing. So,
yeah.
Awesome.
That's good, man. And one thing he did say was, he said, control what you can control. And that's something that the vets always. And then with that being said, now you're taking your career in the control of your hand, and you decide to make the jump to China. How was that decision for you?
Yeah, that was tough. That was really tough. That was right after. So I had played in the G League, the D League back then for about a year. I got called up by a couple times by the Pelicans, by the Knicks, and everything. And then that summer, I was kind of debating what I wanted to do. And San Antonio came to me with a half-guaranteed deal. So we took that. We took that from San Antonio, a half-guaranteed deal. But it turns out at that point, they weren't necessarily, looking for what I was what I needed. They needed more of a forward. So they ended up cutting me after the preseason. And that was difficult for me because I had never been cut from a basketball team before. And so to have, them come in and say, we don't want you a part of our team, that's difficult to hear. But, at some point, pretty much everybody hears it. And so at that point, I needed to figure out what I wanted to do. And I felt, obviously, the NBA at that point wasn't the right option. So I had a lot of European offers, and then I had an offer from Shanghai, China. And I spoke with Yao Ming, who was the president of the team at the time and the owner. And he really wanted me to come over. He's like, we love your skill set. We love what you bring. He's like, we haven't been very good for the past 3 or 4 years that haven't made the playoffs. And he's like, we need some type of buzz. And I feel like you can come over here and really fit our team really well and hopefully give the city and energy some buzz. And, I thought about it and, prayed about it and, was nervous to make the jump to China as my first place to go overseas because I didn't know what to expect and had heard some horror stories over there with different players and everything. But I was like, this is where I feel like I need to go. And my wife was on board and, I went over there and the rest is history. So, but it was definitely a difficult decision, but it was something that, I just knew in my mind it was the right decision, the thing that I needed to do. And I think Yao Ming and the coach over there, Brian Gorgian, who was over there, I think those guys had a lot to do with it.
Yeah. No, that's a great decision you made. And guys, man, from someone playing in the CBA now, the numbers you put up, the you were putting in over here. I mean, the nurse, he's putting up 40. He's averaging 40 out here. The man has 5 in the game. You know what I mean? It's
hey.
Some people underestimate, oh, you're in China. like from being here, like that's not easy.
Yeah.
To go out there and score 30, 40 every night. Like people don't realize you're getting double teamed, you're getting picked up full court, boxing one, and then out in Europe, you're seeing that too. Like it's a whole different game. One night you 20 points in 20 minutes, and then the next night is the coach plays you 5, 8, 10 minutes. It's just not much time to really produce. And then you got everybody looking at you like, why didn't you have me in the 15 minutes I got? Just from, playing in China, Europe, like you played on the highest level around the world. Like it's helped you even become a better player now, just being in the situations that you've had to deal with the last 3-4 years being overseas.
For sure. I mean, the thing that I've really, China really helped me become a better basketball player. The reason why is because you have the ball in your hands so much and you're making decisions pretty much every play. You have to be able to do everything. You rebound, you pass, you score, you shoot, you play defense, you get steals. You're such a big part of the winning on that team, which I enjoyed as a competitive person. I was like, this is great because I love to be able to control the narrative of the team. It's tough to not play, or not be as much of a part of, the winning and having to rely on someone else to do it. But that's the part of basketball, you know what I mean? You have to do that. But in China, you were really a big part of that, winning and losing. So I thought that was great. And I got better as a basketball player. So for 3 years I did that. And, like you said, it's not easy over there. It's difficult. They're physical. They play hard. They double. They do everything they can to not let you score the basketball because they know that's what you want to do. And then I got to Europe, and it's a completely different situation, like you said. Pretty much everyone over here plays 20 minutes. You get 5 to 8 shots a game, and that's pretty much what's going to happen on a nightly basis. And some games I play 10 minutes, like you say. Some games I play 25, depends on the night. But the one thing that I've learned from Europe is how to be more efficient. And I think that that's something that really has helped. Like my shooting percentages this year in the Greek league, I shot 60% from the 2-pointer and 60% from the 3-pointer, and then 95% from the free throw line in the Greek league. In the Euro League, I was 50, 40, 90 as well. So I think that has really helped me realize to take good shots, and then when I get those good shots, to be able to make them. And I think that's what people are looking for.
Can you repeat those numbers one more time?
Wow.
I don't know if
wow.
I heard you there.
60, 60, 90. That's never been done. That's amazing.
That was in the Greek league this year. Yeah, in the Greek league, we only played about 15. I played about 17 to 18 minutes a game. The Greek league isn't, nearly as good as what it used to be. There's still some really good teams in it, but not like it used to be. But yeah, I shot the ball incredibly well. The best I've ever shot the ball before in my life with those percentages. And so, I mean, but that helps. But I learned how to become efficient. I was like, I know I'm not going to get many shots. So because of that, I was like, if I want to score, I got to make them. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, I'm just going to, really focus in. And when I get a shot, I'm going to focus in and try to nail it, and try to make it. Whereas, in other places, you still focus on it, but in China, you're going to get so many shots. So if I miss my first 6 shots, I was like, I don't care. I can make my next 9, 10 shots and still get to where I be. Whereas in Europe, you don't get that opportunity.
That's so good. And I love how you adapt to the culture, to the situation that you're in, the mindset that you have. Europe, you have to be efficient. And you don't just embrace that. You go 60, 60, 90, which is literally nuts. Over in China, you can get a lot of shots, but you're still being pressured, physical. And Ray, it doesn't matter. Like you score 70 in an open gym, I can't even score 70 if nobody's guarding me and I got like an hour to score. So you're doing that in the NBA, and you're figuring out your role and figuring out where your impact is. Just being able to have that type of mindset, not just for basketball, but for all listeners of whatever situation you're in, whether it's a job you don't like to be in. Like do the best you can, the situation you're in, the surroundings you're in, and it's just great things are going to come. So that mindset that you have is absolutely 1% mindset. And we talk a lot about that on the podcast, and staying ahead of the competition, not necessarily just being 1 step ahead, but how do you get 2 steps ahead of the competition? Do you have any things in your routine or your non-negotiables that you do that you feel like, man, this just gives me the edge? I know you have a relentless work ethic. But is there anything else that you're doing on a daily basis? Like for me, I'm taking an ice cold shower first thing I do when I wake up, so I know I can attack the day and get through anything that day.
Yeah, there's a couple things that I do. The two things that I like to focus on that maybe other guys sometimes, other guys may focus on, but something that really is big for me is one, my conditioning. And I want to be in the best condition on the court, because I know that I get guarded so heavily and so tight most of the game, and they're throwing different defenders at me. But a lot of times the defenders, they're playing as hard as they can, and they're denying me the ball, and they're doing all these things, and that's difficult. That's tiring, and it's tiring for me to try to get open. But if I can be in better fourth quarter, that's when I can really, really get after it. And that's what I did in China a lot. Was my second halves were always a lot better usually than my first halves, because I was in good condition and I could just run around screens. I could run around full court pull-ups, do all these things. But the other guys just a little bit tired. They couldn't quite get their jump off quite as much, different things. So I think that's one thing that I focus on. That's a big deal for me. That sets me apart. The other thing is mental visualization. That's something that is non-negotiable for me. My mom taught me that at a young age. And she told me that, just picture yourself making free throws. Just picture yourself making 3-point shots, because your brain can't really decipher the difference between actually making it physically, or if you're thinking about it and you're still making it while you're thinking about it, it still feels like you're practicing. It still feels like you're doing that. And it gives you that confidence. It gives you that edge that I can do it. So I take time every single day to visualize myself becoming better as a basketball player, becoming better as a person, doing good things. So that's a big part of my day, whether it's putting my headphones in and going for a run or a walk, or whether I'm working out, doing whatever. It's something that I try to do every single day.
It's such a huge key. And for everyone listening out there, that visualization and speaking things into existence. Like Jim was saying, he's seeing himself make those shots before he takes it. And no matter what your dream is, you have to see yourself actually accomplishing that before you do. Like for myself, I've got a book coming out. It's going to be a New York Times bestseller. I'm visualizing. It's going to happen. I'm speaking it into existence. So so much power in that, man. So much power in the visualization.
And your books are great.
Thank you.
You're right. You're motivational. I love it. I mean, you do a great job. You pump me up. I don't know about right, but every time I talk to David, I go, I'm done. Afterwards, I'm just pumped up on life.
Hey, you're the man.
Man, he brings the juice for sure.
He does.
Hey, we got to do these podcasts daily. That's my love language, is affirmations. So thanks, guys.
Yeah. So Jimmer, man, talk to us. I mean, so career, man, you've accomplished a lot. You've done a lot of things that not a lot of guys will ever have the chance to do. Still playing at a high level and have many years still left to go. What's something that kind of keeps you motivated? What keeps Jimmer Fredette going?
Yeah, for sure. It's a great question, because like you said, I have been able to accomplish a lot of things. So a lot of it's just self-motivation. Me not feeling like I'm ready to end, and I have more things that I want to accomplish. It goes from being, just a good basketball player and being able to leave a dent in leagues to be able to be one of the best players to ever go to that league. You know what I mean? And that's something that I want to continue to accomplish, whether it be in the EuroLeague or it be in the CBA, wherever it is. I want to still leave more of a legacy. And I know in order to do that, I got to continue to work hard. I got to keep getting better. So I set my own personal goals each and every single season to try to motivate myself. That season, that's what I'm gunning for. That's what I'm motivated to do. And I've always had a good self-motivation. I've always been able to not really. I listen. I hear everything you guys. I'm sure you guys do. You hear all of the criticisms. You hear everything that goes on, and of course that motivates me a little bit. But at the same time, I'm so much more self-motivated, where I feel like I need to get better. I feel like I'm the one that needs to, be able to shoot the ball better or play better defense or whatever it is. I'm always trying to find something in my game that I can get better at. or something in my life that I can get better at. And I've had that from a young age, just being competitive and having that self-belief that I can always get better.
Great. I think Jimmer was born a 1%er from the start. Now, you heard that? Yeah, just continuing improvement, continuing to pour in yourself daily. So all this that he does and the motivation to pour in yourself is now he's able to give to everybody else, like we talked about with the joy and being the teammate. Like, it's all about, you got to build yourself up so you can give to others. And I love that, man. I love that constant growth, constant learning. Are there things you do throughout your day, not necessarily just working out wise, but things that you're continuing to learn on? Maybe you're studying players, maybe you're reading books. How do you continue to grow and learn?
For sure. I've definitely started to read more recently. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I like to listen to things while I'm doing stuff. And I've always been a huge basketball watcher. And, you know, I don't necessarily model my game after one person or anything like that. You know, I never really have, but I've tried to just take things from a lot of different people and just be like, oh, I really like that move, or oh, I really like that shot, or what he did there. I love that footwork that he just did, whether it's a big or a small, whatever it is. And then I try to implement that, you know, into my game. One guy that I say I really did love to watch was Darren Williams when he was back in Utah. I used to love watching him play. He was such a great player. He was a big-shouldered guy, kind of like I was. Could shoot it, could handle it, great in pick and roll. So I used to, because I was in Utah when he was playing, so I used to watch him a lot in college and everything. So it was really, really fun to be able to do that. But I just have always watched a lot of basketball, whether it be high school. I used to watch high school games. I used to watch all the college games, NBA, whatever it was. I was watching and trying to progress and get better at each and every single day. So it was a lot of fun to be able to do that.
There's your best defender, best fan right there. Yeah, welcome to the podcast.
Little Taft.
Hey, Taft.
We got Taft. We got Wesley over here.
Wesley and Taft.
Yeah, she's just in her underwear, so we're not going to put her on the screen right now.
How many you guys going to go? You got two right now. Are you going to go a whole basketball team?
I think we're going to go for at least one more.
Okay. All right. 3-on-3.
Probably three. We both came from three, so that's what we're thinking. Nice. So we'll figure it out. But yeah, they're the best. We're always having fun.
Nice, man. Back to that question. I love that you said Deron Williams, because your game is a lot like his. Now that I'm thinking about it, you have that same kind of hesitation, bounce, that high crossover. And that's huge. Like, you study and you compare yourself to others. Like, a lot of people say comparison's a bad thing, but if used in the right way, hey, you can compare yourself to others. You can steal from them, study them, or I like this move, I like what he's doing, and it helps build yourself up. So, man, amazing answer, and I can absolutely tell in your game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy you said that, because I was just about to ask, like, who's someone you always kind of modeled your game after, and someone well like you do. You know, other players like myself, like, that's something that we still work on. We have to. You know, some guys are still trying to tune up their shot, their mechanics, trying to get more efficient shooting three. Someone who's shooting, 60%, 40% from the three, like, going into next, and, whether you're going back to Europe or you're in the NBA or China, like, what is something that you want to work on going into next season? Because those percentages, it's like, you kind of, the name of the game is making shots, and you're doing that at a high level. So what do you work on?
Yeah, for sure. It's always something that I'm fine tuning. Obviously I'm always shooting to just continue to keep that going. I want to continue to get better in that aspect. Obviously shooting really well, but you have to continue to shoot in order to keep that pace. So you have to make sure that I do that. And now it's more of a confidence thing than it is a mechanical thing. It's just, that night, if I'm feeling it, it's going to go in, you know what I mean? And hopefully you have more nights like that than not. But, having that mental, making sure that you put in the work, and then mentally thinking that you're going to make it, every night, that's going to help my shooting. So for me, the biggest thing is just how do I now create my shot? I can make the shot once I get it. It's about creating the shot. So I've worked a lot on off the ball movement. I was always a point guard growing up all the way through BYU. And then once I got to the pros, they kind of moved me off the ball a little bit more. So I had to learn how to get better off the ball movement, whether it's backdoors, coming off of screens, fades, curls, whatever it is. And then I work a lot on ball handling and, just quick moves into my shots, transition moves into my shots, and pick and rolls into my shots. So that's what I work on now religiously, is just finding different ways that I can get my shot off. I just need a little bit of space. So as long as I can find a little bit of space, whatever move it is, a side step, a step back, a little bump with the shoulder, one-footed fade, whatever it is, I'm just trying to find new things each season that I can implement in my game to get my shot off.
Man, great answer. You know what I really love that you touched on was confidence. Building your confidence. Continue to build your confidence. Because to me, and from everybody on the outside looking in, you're one of the most confident people probably in the world. But saying that you want to continue to build your confidence, it means we all can waver with confidence, but you have a true self-awareness in who you are that holds that firm confidence. A self-awareness, not necessarily based on, hey, if I make shots or I miss shots, that's not where my confidence coming from, but from who you are. So that's awesome, man. And we're gonna throw you on the rapid fire hot seat. So this is whatever comes to your mind. It can be a quick answer or a long answer. Whatever comes to you, spit it out.
All right.
First one we got. Do you have any favorite mindset quotes that you live by? Maybe something that's plastered to your fridge or on your ceiling. What are your go-tos?
For sure. I have one that comes to mind. It's my favorite quote of all time. It's by Henry Ford. And the quote goes, "Whether you believe you can do it or you can't, you're right."
Nice. I love that.
That's all it is. And because I'm such a guy that talks about mental thinking about it, speaking it into existence. I thought that was a great quote. I heard it in middle school by one of my teachers, and I thought it was amazing, and I loved it ever since.
It's beautiful. Love that quote.
Yeah.
Ray, you got the next one?
Oh, well, I always save it the best, but, I got more questions for you. But since you're on the One Percenter podcast, what does being a one mean to you?
That's a great question. I think that for me, what I think it believes is, or what I think it really entails is that I think that everyone at some point during their life can do something to be in that 1% category. But the true 1%ers are the people that do the difficult things and do something to better themselves every single day.
Nice.
Some people may do something one day that makes it feel like they're one percenter, but then the next day they fall off, and then maybe that gain has been lost. The true 1%ers, and to be 1% is very difficult, but it's the people that can do it every single day consistently and can consistently get better, because a lot of people can't do it. So if you're doing it, you're going to be a 1%er.
Boom. Consistency. Ray, he's hitting our words. It's like he's stealing from the book. He's stealing from everything we got. Consistency. Relentless consistency. I love it, man. All right. Was there a moment that you realized, man, I'm in the NBA? Maybe it was a moment that you were just going off, or maybe it was a moment that you got dunked on or something. But was there a time that you were on that floor, you're like, or maybe it was a time that you saw Ray, that Ray came into practice, you're like, all right, Ray's here, man, I'm in the NBA.
For sure. Always. That was always big for me. But the one thing was, for sure, my welcome to the NBA moment was literally my first game in the NBA. I was coming off of the bench. I checked in the first quarter. I came in. It was Sacramento against the LA Lakers. Obviously, a really big rivalry especially for the Sacramento Kings fans. They don't like the Lakers. Yeah. And I came into the game, checked in, playing two guard. First person that came up and guarded me, Kobe Bryant.
Wow.
So legitimately, he came in. I came into the game. We were on offense. He came right up to me. He put his forearm right into my chest, and the play wasn't even started yet. Put it right into my chest, and he said, "Welcome to the NBA, young fella."
Wow. So he actually said, "Welcome to the NBA to you." That's amazing. Right
now. Let's get after it, I guess. So that's what it was. It was crazy.
Man, yeah, that's amazing, especially when he just tells you straight up, "Welcome to the NBA."
Welcome to the NBA.
Love it. Love it.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. What's your definition of leaving a legacy mean to you?
That's a great question as well. For me, I for sure want to leave a legacy as a basketball player. I want people to realize that, or to recognize maybe that I was a winner, that I was a great teammate, but that I was also, a great scorer, a great shooter. I want people to think that I was one of the best scorers and shooters that they've ever seen. That's what I wanted to leave on the court, and as well as being a winner, a guy that brought a winning mentality to a team. But I also just don't necessarily just want to leave a legacy, as a basketball player. I want to leave a legacy as being a good person as well. That's more important to me. I hope that all of my teammates, all of my coaches that I played with, all felt like, I was being genuine, I was being a good person and trying to do good things, and hopefully, they recognize me as a good teammate and someone that, wanted to be there and wanted to be helpful as much as I could. And, that's a huge thing for me, because that's what ultimately is most important in this life for me. So to leave a legacy, not just on the floor, but off the floor, to be able to be a good person, and have people recognize that, I think that's going to help you out way more down your life than just being a great basketball player.
Man, such a good answer. Absolutely agree to the max. Spot on.
He's doing that all around the world, man.
All around the world. I'm doing it in my apartment building here with my wife and whoever sees me in the apartment building, but all around the world, baby. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to assume if you weren't playing professional basketball, you would be a gourmet chef. I'm just going to make that assumption. So you got to give me, what is your go-to meal? This is the thing, like it's fancy. It's the one big time dish to show off on MasterChef. What do you got?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I mean, we make a lot of different things. One thing that I love to cook, probably more than others, is probably pasta. We love to cook pasta. We do this kind of spicy chicken Alfredo pasta. So it's kind of a little bit of it's an Alfredo sauce. So it's a cream-based sauce, Alfredo cream-based sauce with some red chili peppers in it, some salt, some pepper, some garlic powder, a little bit of oregano, a little bit of onion powder, chopped up some onions, chopped up some chili flakes, and we mix it all up and saute it and put it in a pan, and we kind of mix the chicken in with it, and then we dump it on the pasta, and it's kind of like a spicy chicken pasta, Alfredo pasta, and it's got a little bit of a kick to it, but it's a little bit different than just a regular fettuccine Alfredo, but it's spectacular. We love it, and it's something that we have it kind of down pat. We like it, and we know how to make it, so it'd be something that I think the people would enjoy if I made it.
Nice. We would enjoy that. Me and Ray will probably throw our pasta in the microwave called ramen noodles, but you're an inspiration, man.
Love it.
Jimmer, you are off the rapid fire hot seat in the 1% podcast, but before we let you out of here, how can we all follow you? How can we all find everything that you're doing, everything Jimmer, where's it at?
Yeah, I'm obviously on all the social medias, Jimmer Fredette. One of them's Jimmer Fredette. I think my Instagram's Jimmer Fredette _32, or Jimmer Fredette 32. I can't remember which one it is, but I'm out there for sure. I'm verified. So if you want to follow me on any of those, that's great. I'm not very cool on social media. My wife is way better at social media than I am, to be honest with you.
She actually is.
She's really good at social media, and she actually is the one that does most of my posts anyway. She's real good at it. But the one thing that I do want to say is, if you do want to follow my foundation, I have a foundation. It's the Fredette Family Foundation. And you can go to jimmerosity.org. So it's Jimmer, and then just like generosity, it's jimmerosity.org. And you can check in on all the things that we've done and all the things that we do. We mostly are in the Utah area, and also the upstate New York area where I'm from. But we've branched out and done things all over the country. We did some things in Greece this past year with some refugee camps and everything. But we've been able to do a lot of great work, especially in the school districts. We focus on trying to help kids promote kindness and understand the importance of inclusivity. And we do anti-bullying programs in school districts. So it's really a great thing. We've had a lot of success with it, and it continues to grow. We got about 15,000 kids almost in our programs across the Utah and upstate New York area. And it's been great, so we're continuing to grow. So if you want to look at it, go ahead to generosity.org, and we always help you. We always could use more help. So,
man, we will absolutely promote that, and I mean, we'll link into the show notes for sure. But that's huge, man. That's huge. Using your platform of basketball, God-given abilities you have for so much more. And I know, like, you can be proud about the stats of the 60, 60, 90, but I'm sure when that's the thing that makes you the most proud, your family and that right there. That's amazing. Jimmer, you are just a breath of fresh air in so many ways. I've been able to know you for a few years, and like you said, every time I talk to you, you pump me up, you motivate me, you give me joy. Like, it's those type of people that we just love being around. Ray, the same for sure. So, man, just all I can say is keep being you. I don't know what else to say. I don't even have any advice or anything. Ray, you got any last parting words before we let this guy out of here?
Man, this is who he is, man. Great guy. So I met him 7 years ago now. So keep shedding your light in the world, man. Stay healthy. Good luck the rest of the way. And keep putting up those points for us, man.
I appreciate it, Ray, man. Same to you. Good luck out there. Hope they figure things out there for you. But I've talked to some of my people in Shanghai. They all said that they love you out there. They love you. They appreciate you. They say you're a great guy and obviously a great basketball player. So I was awesome to be able to, be your teammate and help you out a little bit in Sacramento. And now we're both off doing great things. So, and David, thanks for all your help and training and all the kind words always. So I appreciate both of you.
Yeah, Jimmer, we worked out like 3 times. I mean, if I can help you anytime, like, I'll come out there if you need somebody just to rebound or just to watch you this summer, man. I'd do anything for both of you guys. I mean, I got my hands full with Ray, but
A lot to deal with.
Ray's coming out to LA this summer. He's posting up, and I don't know if there's a summer. I don't know if we're traveling anywhere, but
We'll see.
At some point, dude.
Well,
you guys are awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Jimmer, can you text me over your address? We got to hook him up with some 1%er gear for you and your wife for sure.
I will.
All right. Awesome.
All right.
Cool.
All right,
appreciate you, man.
Take care, man.
See you later.
All right.
Peace.
All right.